episode of the F1 Chat. We discuss the Imola, Monaco Formula 1 Grand Prix, Alpine, Jack Doohan, Ferrari, all that and more on the F1 Chat.
Come the lights for the Monaco Grand Prix. Lando Norris wins the Monaco Grand Prix.
Hello, out there, in internet land. This is episode 5 of the 2025 season of the F1 Chat. I am your host, Lord British, and seated in front of me is a man who is happy that Phil Lamington is being a complete ass to me, making me say horrible shite like a fucking llama, and that is JB. How are you, JB?
Hello, Lord British. I'm good. I'm good that AI's taken Phil's job finally, because it's been too long. It's been a long time coming.
Well, get used to it, buddy. It's not that happening for that long. No, I'm your
At least
host.
Lord British sounds professional because we don't. Ever sound professional.
Yeah, and he's cheap. He's free.
Cheap labour.
Cheap labour. Like kids at the Nike factory.
Cheap labour. Free or cheap labour?
Both. Well, I'm your host, Phil Lamington, not this pale imitation. Yeah. So, how you going, JB?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. In the middle of a good couple of weeks off, actually. Just got back from Hamilton Island, so it's been good.
Congratulations to Amanda and Jacko on
Yes.
their wedding.
Yes,
Um,
Mr. and Mrs. Rawl.
Yeah, thanks for not sending me a fucking invite.
There's a few people that didn't get an
Yeah.
invite.
But Longhorn got an invite.
Yes, Longhorn did get an invite. He was on the groom's list, so he had to be there.
That's all right. If I ever get married, I'll make sure I fucking leave them off the wedding list. That's all right. That's all right. I get to go to Beck's divorce party, so
There you go.
There we go. That balances it out.
Balance isn't checked. One sister getting married, one sister being divorced. You didn't get invited to the wedding, but you did get invited to the divorce party, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, right. So, we had the complete, I don't know if we can say satisfaction or what, of watching the, both the Imola Grand Prix and the Monaco Grand Prix, if I can ever get my computer to do what I want it to.
Correct.
So, we're going to go over the Imola F1 first from I'm not even going to try and say it. It's just fucking...
Emilia Romagna Grand Prix.
Yeah, from San Marino.
Yes.
Yes.
Imola.
Yes.
Yeah. I have a race report for that race.
Yes.
So,
Hit it.
the 2025 Imola Grand Prix. Lap 1, Oscar Piastri starts on pole position alongside Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen gets his elbows out into turn 2 with a massive dive bomb to take the lead off Piastri. Lap 3, Charles Leclerc forces Pierre Gasly wide as he muscles his way past, Gasly running through the gravel and losing positions. Lap 11, Lando Norris gets around the outside of George Russell for third place after taking to the grass on the previous lap. Lap 12, Russell and Sainz pit for hard tyres as the two-stop strategy begins to become the preferred strategy. Lap 14, Oscar Piastri pits for hard tyres with a sluggish pit stop. Lap 26, Oscar Piastri pulls off a sweep move around the outside of Lewis Hamilton into turn 1 to take 6th. Lap 27, Piastri pulls a copy and paste move a lap later on Kimi Antonelli for 5th. Lap 28, Piastri takes the inside line into turn 1 to pass Isaac Hadjar for 4th. Lap 28, Lando Norris pits for hard tyres. Lap 29, Esteban Ocon's Haas is peeled off to the side of the track with a technical failure. The VSC is deployed as Max Verstappen takes the gift opportunity to pit for hard tyres. Lap 30, everyone outside the top 5 pit for fresh tyres as the VSC continues. Lap 31, Oscar Piastri takes a second pit stop, putting on a fresh set of hard tyres as Lando Norris and Alex Albon get ahead of him on track. Lap 36, Lewis Hamilton gets past Antonelli and Hadjar in quick succession to climb to 5th. Lap 40, Oscar Piastri breezes past Alex Albon for third into turn 1. Lap 42, Charles Leclerc passes Isaac Hadjar for sixth. Lap 46, Kimi Antonelli's Mercedes shuts down on him, and he pulls off the track with the full safety car being deployed. Lap 47, Max Verstappen pits. Lando has a slow stop and emerges back into the race in third position, losing a spot to Oscar Piastri. Lap 48, Alex Albon gets a fresh set of hard tyres to go to the end. Lap 57, Lewis Hamilton picks off George Russell for sixth. Lap 58, with fresher tyres and the aid of DRS, Lando Norris passes Oscar Piastri for second place. Lap 60, Alex Albon tries desperately to pass around the outside of Charles Leclerc, but runs out of room and is forced through the gravel, losing out to Lewis Hamilton as well. Lap 61, Lewis Hamilton passes Charles Leclerc for fourth. Lap 63, Charles Leclerc is told to let Alex Albon pass after the FIA put him under investigation for forcing Alex off the track earlier. Meanwhile, at the front of the grid, Max Verstappen wins the Imola Grand Prix ahead of the McLaren duo of Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri.
In fourth place was Lewis Hamilton in the Ferrari. Fifth place was Alex Albon in the Williams. Sixth place was Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari. Seventh place was George Russell in the surviving Mercedes. Eighth place was Carlos Sainz in the Williams. Ninth place was Isaac Hadjar in the Racing Bull. And 10th place was Yuki Tsunoda in the Red Bull. So, it wasn't a bad race.
It was certainly more entertaining than the one that succeeded it.
It was certainly more entertaining than last year's Imola Grand Prix, because I remember that being a bit of a snooze fest.
Yeah, correct.
And the year before that, it got washed out.
The year before that, it was 6 feet underwater. So.
Yeah. But, that's the last time they're running at Imola, isn't it?
I don't think they're coming back for a while.
Yeah.
Or they're alternating, I can't remember.
Yeah. But, yeah, it wasn't a bad race. Like, it was, a bit of action there going on and stuff.
We've had worse races there. We've had better races there too, but...
Oh, we've had worse races this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Japan. But Max Verstappen drove a really solid race.
He did what he did to Lewis in 2021. Just held the inside line off P2 and Piastri had nowhere to go.
Yeah. So, and he just drove a smart race and kept his Red Bull pointing in the correct direction.
He likes that track. He's got a good record there.
Yeah. We move to the key drivers. And so I've got Lando Norris on here. He drove a really good race.
Yep.
He did have a setback with pit stops, didn't he?
Yeah, I think the strategy sort of rooted him around a little bit.
But
but it worked out because I think Oscar actually got dudded at the end, the second stop, because Oscar's tyres were old as, and then Lando just got past him at the end there. So,
but he also had an issue with the front right wheel nut.
Yeah. I think both McLarens had issues in their pit stops, but thankfully it didn't affect them too much. I mean, I don't think either of them were going to catch Max anyway. So second and third, I guess, is the best they could have hoped for.
The next driver was Oscar Piastri.
Did what he could. I mean, he'll be kicking himself that he wasn't more aggressive into turn 1,
but also the flip side of the coin is if you're too aggressive, you crash.
Yeah.
And then you don't get any points. So
yeah, you'd rather get some points than no points, I guess.
That's right. And
Max definitely played his game into turn 1, and it worked, and it won him the race. So
Max seems to have a driving style that's very Senna-esque.
Oh, it's always been Senna-esque.
Where I'll put the car where I want, and you decide the fate of the outcome.
Yep. And we saw how much Lewis struggled with that in 2021.
Yeah, well. Speaking of Lewis Hamilton, he's my next key driver. I mean, he qualified, 12th?
I think he made up about, 8 spots or something, yeah.
And he qualified 11th. Charles Leclerc qualified 12th.
Did Lewis finish 4th?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good drive by him.
It was. It was.
It went unnoticed.
And it was it was nice to see a happy Lewis Hamilton again.
Yeah.
You know, especially after race, like he thanked the team and all the boys back at the factory, and you know, it sounded like the old Lewis Hamilton. It even sounded like him and his engineer were finally on the same page. It's amazing how that changes after a week. But he drove a really solid race. The next key driver was Alex Albon.
Yeah, he had a good day. He was up there tussling with Charles. I think Charles forced him off at the end there, but I think Alex got the place back.
So, I was going to put Charles Leclerc on this list, but then what he did with Alex Albon, where he pushed him off the track, and even I was just like, "Come on, Charles, that's a bit far."
Yeah, I think Lewis did the same thing to Pierre Gasly as well. Like there was a couple of instances where they got forced wide and had to go through the gravel.
Yeah.
So there was a couple of instances there, and I think Charles was right to let Alex back through.
Yeah.
So it was good for Alex to have a good day there.
Next key driver was Carlos Sainz.
Yeah.
Another great drive for the Williams boys.
Yeah, the Williams are banking points now pretty regularly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Next one was Isaac Hadjar.
Yeah.
Getting that racing ball up there.
He did. I mean, he was passed twice by Oscar Piastri, but he was there. He finished at the top 10, did what he could with what he had.
And Yuki Tsunoda getting the last point, getting a point.
A point.
You know, that's more than Liam Lawson got.
Correct.
It's more than Sergio got in the last...
Forever.
Yeah. So, you know, good on Yuki. He's getting there.
Slowly.
But, so they're the key drivers. Then we get to the helmet drivers. There's the PK kick.
The PK kick is back.
It's pretty much the usual suspects here. So I've got Liam Lawson.
Yeah.
He had a pretty
meh
day. Pierre Gasly.
Yeah. Probably not the greatest day.
Lance Stroll.
Lance is always on the list.
Oddly enough, the next person very rarely makes it onto this list. But he had a shocker of a day, and that was Fernando Alonso.
He's had a shocker of a year.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Oh, look. I think he's got to retire. He's got to call it.
Yeah. I mean, Adrian Newey's now officially started working on the Aston Martin, though.
Yeah.
He was at Monaco, so which we'll get to, but
yeah. Look, I'm going to give it to Alonso.
I think it's just been a horrid year for him, honestly.
Yeah.
If he wasn't thinking about retirement, it's probably I mean, unless he's super desperate and wants to see what the 2026 car looks like, but
yeah, but even then, he's just wasting time. He's just spinning his wheels.
He's not getting any younger. He's getting pushed around. He's had multiple crashes this year. Lance Stroll's outscoring him in the points.
Yeah.
By a fair margin.
He hasn't scored any points this year.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? This is the guy who beat Michael Schumacher in 2006 and proceeds to crow on about it.
Well, the commentators proceed to crow on about it.
That too. He's got no points.
Yeah.
He is well past his prime in a car that, frankly, is on par with last year's Williams.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the car's not helping him, but at the same time, Lance Stroll's been getting points.
Yeah.
In the same car, so has he reached the end of the road?
I think he has. I think it's time. So that's Imola. We'll do the driver's standings. So in 10th place, tied for 9th place actually, but listed as 10th place is Lance Stroll with 14 points. In 9th place is Ocon with 14 points. 8th place is Albon with 40 points. 7th place is Kimi Antonelli with 48. 6th place is Lewis Hamilton with 53. 5th place is Charles Leclerc with 61. 4th place is George Russell with 99. 3rd place was Max Verstappen with 124. 2nd place, Lando Norris with 133. And 1st place is Oscar Piastri with 146. And in the team standings, 10th place is Kick Sauber with 6. 9th place is Alpine with 7. 8th place is the Racing Bull with 10. 7th is Aston Martin with 14. 6th place is Haas with 20. 5th place is Williams with 51. 4th place is Ferrari with 114. 3rd place is Red Bull with 131. 2nd place is Mercedes with 147. And in 1st place is McLaren with 279 points at the end of Imola. So we're going to move on now to Monaco. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
That's more exciting than Monaco already.
Well, here is the Monaco race report. Are you ready?
Yes.
Here we go.
Come the lights for the Monaco Grand Prix. Lando Norris wins the Monaco Grand Prix.
So that's the Monaco Grand
That
Prix
was the Monaco
report.
Grand Prix. That was the race report.
That was the race report for the Monaco Grand Prix. Hope you enjoyed that one. So at the end of the race, after Christ knows how 78 laps, was it?
There were 72 laps and 2 pit stops.
And 2 mandatory pit stops.
They tried so hard to spice this race up.
How we failed.
And I'm pretty sure the top 4 didn't change positions.
No. But so the winner was Lando Norris in the McLaren. 2nd place was Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari. 3rd place was Oscar Piastri in the other McLaren. 4th place was Max Verstappen in the Red Bull. 5th place was Lewis Hamilton in Ferrari. I think he's the only person in the top 8 who moved forward. Because he started in 7th.
Yeah.
Because he qualified 4th.
They got a 3-place penalty for impeding.
For impeding Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
And so he got dropped down to 7th. And then he's managed to move forward a couple of places and get to 5th. 6th place was Isaac Hadjar in the Racing Bull. 7th place was Esteban Ocon in the Haas. 8th was Liam Lawson in the Racing Bull in the top 10.
Both Racing Bulls in the top 10.
What? 9th place was Alex Albon in the Williams, and 10th place was Carlos Sainz in the other Williams. Right. So, I'm not going to talk about the drivers in this because we haven't done key drivers or a PK kick helmet driver.
Well, I'll give you a key driver right now. Liam Lawson, he got in the top 10.
Liam Lawson got into the top 10.
Alex
All right.
Albon for being a mobile roadblock. Lando Norris for holding off Charles Leclerc.
Because Alex Albon, he held off George Russell for a bit there, which got the post-race thing of James Vowles was walking past and Toto Wolff gave him a piece of his mind.
Yeah, that was a bit of a tiff there.
But, it's Monaco.
No one's passing no one. Like, come on. They're already trying to, next year re-profile some of the track to try and make it, better.
It's an easy fix to fix the problem. Okay? It really is. It's a lot easier than you think. Because, I was excited about the idea of 2 pit stops, 2 mandatory pit stops. I thought it would undo what they did last year, where it's just 1 pit stop under red flag.
Yeah,
and
everyone pitted and then everyone just followed each other around for 2 hours.
The only new thing about it was Lance Stroll tried something and then it ended up fucking crashing the car.
Yes.
He undid 40 laps of setup over 1 place.
Yep. That's hilarious. That's typical Stroll. That's the same dude that drove into, was it Charles Leclerc in practice?
No, Charles Leclerc plowed into him because he pulled out in front of him.
Yeah,
because they were going into the new the chicane.
Yeah.
What's the chicane? The Nouvelle chicane.
Nouvelle chicane.
Yeah, he pulled in front of him, and just Charles Leclerc's like, the fuck.
Yep. Idiot.
Absolute plank of a wood move. But there's an easy way to fix it. I mean, Alex Verts, who used to drive for Williams, I think, at one point. Or he's been in F1. He actually works for a track design company that isn't supervised by Herman Tilke.
Holy.
So he might actually have ideas that don't involve long straight and a hairpin.
Yeah.
Or multi, what's the point in the corner?
Hairpins.
No, the point in a corner.
Apexes.
The apex. It doesn't have
Multiple apex corners.
Yeah.
Sometimes they work. Most times.
So he reckons that when you come out of the tunnel, they need to extend the straight more, so it gets a bit further along. Then put the chicane in. Yeah, the little chicane thing at the end of the tunnel. They need to put it at the next wharf. Still before Tabac.
Yeah.
I think just make it a straight. The
Yeah,
whole way along.
But then there's going to be no overtaking opportunities. No one's going to try to dive under anyone at Tabac at 250 kilometres an hour.
Yeah, but they'll be a lot faster.
Yeah, but what are you going to do? You can't pass them.
Yeah, you can. You know the multi-apex corners right before the last two turns on the track.
Chicanes.
No. So you come out of the swimming pool,
Yeah.
and then you've got the double right. Then it's the right left, and then you're on the start-finish straight.
Yeah.
Right? So the double apex rights, he wants to extend out the second apex right and make it come out more. So you actually have, it's a little bit more of a kink, then it's a sharper turn. He reckons that'll promote overtaking. I think that's promoting bullshit.
Well, I don't think the only way you're going to you give everyone just pure soft tyres.
Well, my thinking...
Give them 5 sets of soft tyres. They got to pit every 10 laps, but they'll be fast as fuck.
Well, I mean, Max Verstappen said that why don't we bolt on some additional upgrades and throw bananas at each other like it's Mario Kart?
Yeah, I think George Russell said you should be able to... Every driver should be able to hit the button that triggers sprinklers, but you can only hit it once in the race.
Look, we all know what they really should do. And I don't mean ditch Monaco. I got 2 ideas, though. Idea 1. How about we make the cars fucking smaller?
Yeah, how about we bring back some 2005 size cars where we never had this problem?
Yeah. Yeah. Or how about this? How about this for an idea? Okay. Make it the first race of the season when it's in the middle of winter.
So it's like snowing.
Yes.
That'd be brilliant.
Excellent.
Yes.
Yes.
It'd be way more interesting. Yeah. Got to bolt on the Pirelli Rally snow tires. The one with all the little spikes on them.
It's got the ski things that come out of it, like the
Instead of DRS, your car turns into a bobsled.
Yeah, toboggan.
A toboggan.
Kind of like the Aston Martin in the Living Daylights.
Yeah, it just turns into like a sled.
Yeah, that's your DRS. They come out. You get additional stability under turning.
Yeah. You've still got to try and turn it into centre pot, but I'm sure you'll figure it out.
Still, that's a better idea.
It's still going to be more entertaining than anything Monaco's produced in the last 10, 15 years.
I don't know. There was that massive crash last year on the first corner.
Thank you, Jacko.
Yeah, that was great.
Probably the last good thing.
That was it.
It's the last good thing. And by proxy, everyone got a free pit stop, and that was the end of the race.
It's kind of like qualifying, because this race really is a qualifying race.
Well, it was the only highlight. Lando Norris broke the lap record.
But even then, I know how to fix qualifying. Instead of doing it Q1, Q2, Q3 like we have been doing, you use the times from FP3, and every driver using that position is when they go out on the track, and they get a one shot.
That'd be cool.
You know, so say at the end of FP3,
Yeah.
Charles Leclerc has got the fastest time, right? He goes out first. So he does his outlap. Once he passes Saint-Devot, right, the first corner, Saint-Devot,
Yeah.
Whoever got P2 in FP3, they're cleared to come out of their pit box and sit at the end of the pit exit, right? Charles Leclerc, da-da-da-da-da-da, right? Once he is inside that final chicane that goes onto the start-finish straight, that's when Max Verstappen or whoever's got FP2, P2, they go out on their outlap while he's finishing his flying lap.
Sounds like it could work.
Yeah.
So how they do it at Bathurst for the top 10 shootout.
Yeah.
Except you just have a top 20 shootout.
Yeah.
Why not?
It's kind of like the race. Why don't they try something a bit different and make it a time trial?
A time trial?
Yeah. Like, whoever sets the fastest time gets to win the race.
You get what? You want them to do 72 laps on their own?
No. They get 10 laps. 10 laps each.
Yeah. And whoever does the fastest time wins.
Yeah.
There
So
you
you
go.
move qualifying to the race and the shootout to qualifying.
Oh my god.
Well, it's better than this shit.
Why don't we just make it 2 sprint races?
Don't give
wait.
them the idea of sprint races.
I mean, it won't work anyway, but you know.
Instead of it being 72 laps of no overtaking, it's 20 laps of no overtaking.
It's 20 laps of no overtaking twice.
Oh, look, they need to make the car smaller. It's a simple fix. They've got
They
to make
need
the
to
car
just
smaller.
let them drive actual go-karts.
Yeah, with bananas and red shells.
Yeah, like 1,000cc go-karts. Just let them
Yeah,
drive
yeah.
1,000cc go-karts. You'll have all the room in the world for overtaking.
Yeah.
You know, the laps will probably take 2 or 3 minutes, but
Well, how about this then, all right? Because on this track, you're not using max power on this track,
no.
right? So they have specially built Monaco cars that are smaller with all the computery bits and the hybrid shit, all of that ripped out where it's just the V6 and the turbo.
Just give them billy carts.
Dodge 'em cars.
Dodge 'em cars.
Yeah.
Give them literal Dodge 'em cars.
With the whole roof of the track is like a metal grating, so it's just...
The first one to bash Lance Stroll wins. Lance Stroll would win that race. He likes hitting things. Lance Stroll would be the Monaco Dodge 'em car champion of, like, the world.
It comes down to him versus Pierre Gasly.
Yeah, who can hit shit better? That's a Monaco.
Yeah. Make
Lance
that
Stroll's going
happen.
to take home his first ever first place on the podium. Dodge 'em car world champion. He's hit every car and every barrier on the track.
In his quest to lick every single window on the track.
He's done it.
Right, so that's Monaco.
That is Monaco.
So we're going to get to the news items here. And this happened at Imola. Going into Imola, Alpine team principal Oliver Oakes resigned with immediate effect from Alpine. The reason being, now he still owns the high-tech F2 team with his brother and another person. His brother has been done for some criminal activity, or I can't remember off the top of my head, but it had to do with sort of money laundering.
Yeah, right.
And so he's quit the Alpine team so that it doesn't affect the Alpine team.
He's fallen on the sword.
But he still owns the high-tech F2 team.
So is he just going to go back to high-tech?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It's funny too because you know who owned high-tech before Oliver Oakes and his brother did?
Who?
Dmitry Mazepin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well,
He sold the team when Nikita got called up to Haas.
right.
But Oliver Oakes is out as team principal, which
Well,
means...
look, I mean, it's a slap in the face for your brother being caught up in criminal activity, but at least you don't have to work for Flavio fucking Briatore anymore.
Well, that's the thing. Everyone was like, oh, Flavio's going to be the new team principal. He can't be. He's not allowed.
No, you can't run the team and fucking be the principal.
No. So they've got someone else as the team principal. Mind you, all he is a puppet. He's got Flavio's hand crawled up his ass and is making his mouth move. He's suffering from hook in mouth.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Which then leads to the next bit of news, which was that Jack Doohan got dumped for Franco Colapinto.
Yeah. I don't think Colapinto did too well.
No. Alpine is just a poison chalice, though. It's just
Alpine is the second Red Bull seat of Formula One. Doesn't matter what happens or where you go, you're not going to last there, and it's a shit show.
And what's even worse is that apparently Franco Colapinto has got 6 races to prove that he can do it, or Mick Schumacher's getting the seat.
So Jack's not even getting the seat back.
No.
That's disgusting.
And so Mick Doohan took to social media to basically say this is a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, Alpine's a fucking mess.
Here's the thing. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise for Jack Doohan that he got booted out of the team, because that car is a shitbox.
Well, when it's not being a shitbox, they're just driving into each other anyway.
Yeah, and then when you're not driving, you got to answer to Flavio Briatore.
What a shit situation. The car's shit. You have a shit race, or you do your best in a car that's a shitbox. Then you got that fat cunt just fucking chewing you out.
Well, he's not even fat anymore.
I don't care. He's still fat. I don't care.
He's skinny fat.
I hate his guts. I don't care.
And
Never liked him when he ran Renault.
And add to that, they're running an engine, which next year is going to be a Mercedes engine because Flavio went, you're making a shit engine. So it's not a works team anymore next year.
So it's got the Alpine badging with no French parts on it at all.
No.
Jesus Christ.
Just sell the fucking team.
Honestly, if Andretti still wants in, fucking dump Alpine into the ocean where it can be crushed forever.
Well, no, because Cadillac is going in. They just don't have Michael Andretti involved.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, so Cadillac is in irregardless. They've paid the money. They got the clearance. They're in. They're on the grid next year.
Hopefully they just smash Alpine.
Because now there's rumours that Danny Rick is going to be driving for Cadillac next year.
That'd be good. And
Yeah.
Valtteri Bottas is part of that conversation too.
Well, the drivers they're talking about with Cadillac, I think we covered this on the last episode, but, you know, things have changed. So Danny Rick is in the running. Valtteri Bottas is in the running. Sergio Perez is in the running. Right? So they're the three. Zhou Guan Yu apparently is in the running. Right? So there's 4. Then you've got Pato O'Ward and Colton Herta.
I did hear Colton Herta's name tossed up. I don't know if Pato will come over.
So, I mean, there's two IndyCar drivers that are in the hunt and 4 F1 drivers are in the hunt. And they've made it clear they want an American driver in one of those seats. So it's going to be
Well,
like
none of your F1 guys are American, so it's going to have to be Colton. It's going to have to be Herta.
Yeah, Colton Herta or Pato O'Ward.
I don't know if Pato will go.
Okay.
He might. It'd suck, but he might.
Well, I mean, a seat at Cadillac's better than a seat at fucking Alpine, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Especially seeing that in 2028, they're going to be running the the engine that Alpine designed.
Yeah. How's that for a slap in the face?
Yeah, I will laugh my ass off if in the first race with that engine, Cadillac outdoes Alpine.
I hope they do.
I hope so, too.
Well, Alpine's running the Mercedes engine that's supposed to save them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then on your cool-down lap, as you pass Flavio Briatore, just flip him the bird.
I would.
Like, as many birds as you could flip off at him.
Oh, man.
Him and his hipster fucking glasses.
I have no respect for that guy.
Oh.
And you know what? It's a reflection of the team.
Yeah.
You know, it's an absolute reflection of the team as to how Flavio's just toxic.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Toxic personality, toxic nature. The team's toxic.
Look at who their head design guy is. Their technical director is David Sanchez.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. The guy who got happily let go from Ferrari to go to McLaren, and he was there 3 months at best. And McLaren went, yeah. They pulled the Hulk Hogan and went, this ain't working for me, brother.
This ain't gonna do, brother.
And then he goes to Alpine.
Absolute, just toxic
What?
mess.
What the
Toxic mess, and I can't wait for Flavio Briatore to take the fall for it. It's going to be hilarious.
Yeah, but he's not going to take the fall for it.
He's going to blame everyone but himself.
The best thing Renault could do is just sell the fucking team.
Sell it back to Lotus.
That was Genoi Capital.
Ah, yeah, they probably don't have money.
No.
Considering they couldn't pay Kimi Raikkonen, they probably don't have money.
No.
What's that Rich Energy dude up to? I
fucking forgot about him.
I respect that guy more than I respect Flavio Briatore.
What about Dmitry Mazepin?
I'm pretty sure he's in Ukraine somewhere.
No, he's in Russia. He was one of Putin's bestie friendies.
Probably
Yeah.
just in Russia, chilling.
Yeah, get Trump to buy it.
Yeah, sure.
Slap a 10% tariff on every other team that beats him.
He's going to be the greatest Formula One team you've ever seen.
Fuck off. Fuck off. Fucking Trump. Here we go. As a slight spin-off here. Right? So Donald Trump, this is getting political here, but fuck it. Because
This is what happens every Monaco episode. Because Monaco is such a shit race, we've got nothing to talk about.
So, Donald Trump has cut the funding to American TV station PBS, which is
Really?
public broadcast system,
Yes.
which is backed by the government. And programs are donated by other channels to PBS. And programs that are deemed to be non-profit. Well, Donald Trump deemed one program that aired on PBS the second longest running television show in American history. He cut the funding to it because he said the funding for that show could go to something else. And he convinced Warner Brothers Discovery, who were backing the show and everything, to cut their funding for it. So it looked like this show was going to end, and then Netflix came along and said, you know what, we'll take it over. And so it's going to be jumping to Netflix soon. What's the show, I hear you ask? Fucking Sesame Street.
What?
Yeah.
He was going to shut down Sesame Street.
Yes.
What the hell is wrong with him?
Because he reckons the money that's used on that show could be used for something else.
Like what? American education system's in the arse.
Yeah, well, look.
Sesame Street's more educational than like 95% of American schools.
Well, you know, they've shut down their Department of Education. You know who the Minister for Education in America is, eh?
Who?
Brace yourself for this. There's a bit of crossover here. It's Linda McMahon.
You're kidding.
I kid you not.
You're kidding.
Linda McMahon is the head of education in America. And she has started shutting down various departments of the Department of Education. At least 60% of the American Department of Education have lost their jobs.
What's she going to teach them? How to fucking take a stone-cold stunner?
How do you get your ex-husband to cheat on you with all the divas in WWE?
How to be a complete doormat to your steroided rapist of a husband?
Today, kids, we're going to learn how to sign an NDA.
Yeah.
Oh, God. How to act like Linda McMahon.
How to buy WCW.
DCW and completely fuck the industry.
How to destroy two companies whilst acquiring them.
Oh, man. I can't believe that.
I can't believe she's the head of education.
Yeah, well. She's the head of...
At least she seems to have slightly more credibility now than her husband does.
Not by much.
Not by much.
But, oh, God, like, she's the Minister for Education, and Donald Trump wanted to shut down Sesame Street. Sesame Street, of all things. What the fuck has Sesame Street done to Donald Trump? What the fuck has it done to Donald Trump?
I don't think Donald Trump's ever been on Sesame Street. He's probably bitter about it.
Yeah, he has.
Has he actually?
Yeah, I think he has.
Oh, my God. Well, he's been to WrestleMania, so you know.
Yeah. Well, fuck it. I've been to Bali, too. That's a song, by the way. I haven't actually been to Bali.
I
It's
have no
just
intention of going to Bali. It's a shithole.
because the song I've been to Bali is by Red Gum.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's the other song they've got besides I Was Only 19.
They have more than one song.
Yeah.
Wow.
Believe it or not. Right, moving on to the next news item. Well, there's the movie poster for F1, the movie.
Samson Idris, is he the guy that was from... He wasn't from that Gran Turismo movie, was he?
Who?
That Damson Idris guy.
I don't know. I haven't seen the Gran Turismo movie.
Who was the kid? Who was the kid's name from Gran Turismo?
I don't know, but... so it's got Brad Pitt.
Yes.
It's got Javier Bardem, who, to make this movie, dropped out of the Highlander remake.
Right.
Because he was supposed to play Ramirez in the Highlander remake, and now Ramirez is being played by Russell Crowe, fighting around the world.
Holy.
And the Kurgan in it is being played by Dave Bautista.
Dave will be a good Kurgan.
And, you know, Henry Cavill's still in it, so... so, Javier Bardem. Yeah, Kerry Condon. You're probably going, who the hell is Kerry Condon?
Who is Kerry Condon?
So, Kerry Condon, it's a she. You know, in the later Avengers movies, the voice of Friday, which was Tony Stark's AI after Jarvis became Vision.
Yeah.
He had that Irish voice.
Yeah.
That was her.
Oh, nice.
But more importantly, do you remember the movie Unleashed with Jet Li? We had the dog collar.
Vaguely. That's a long time ago.
And it had Morgan Freeman in it.
Yeah, maybe.
And Morgan Freeman had the daughter, who was the piano player.
I might vaguely ringing a bell. I don't know.
Well, that was her.
That was Kerry Condon.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So she's in the movie.
Yes. And apparently the F1 drivers, except for Max Verstappen and Lance Stroll, went to a preview screening at Monaco.
They all went to a preview screening. Max Verstappen's at home on live stream with a pink Formula One wheel, doing sim racing. And Max's statement was, well, it wasn't mandatory to go.
And Lance Stroll went, I didn't know it was on.
I got the feeling Lance Stroll wasn't invited, and Max Verstappen tore his invitation up. That's fucking hilarious.
So, a lot of the F1 drivers are saying, look, if you're going into this looking for a realistic F1 movie, it's not going to happen, but it's
going to be driven in Formula One world. I hope they drive through the streets with no helmets on. Through the streets of Monaco with no helmets on, please. And I hope one of them flips into the Monaco harbour. Because I want realism.
And the other two have to drive backwards
around
through
the
traffic
to save him
well,
while he's
they
on
flip
fire.
a car. They flip a car, and like the car being flipped is in slow motion while everyone else is going at 1 million miles an hour.
Yeah, and the car that's being flipped looks like a PlayStation 1 graphic.
Oh, God.
Yes, please. I'm here for it.
Well, it's directed by the guy who did Top Gun Maverick, so I think we're looking at something
be all right.
looking a little bit more realistic here.
We'll see.
And now he goes straight on to working on Top Gun 3.
Very nice.
And Tom Cruise is working on Days of Thunder 2.
Fuck yeah.
So, thank God we're not getting any more Mission Impossible movies.
Oh, that's the last one.
Yeah, apparently it's not that good.
No, yeah.
I gave up like 3 movies
I was about
ago.
to say, have they been good after the first two?
No.
Yeah.
I must be one of the few people who like Mission Impossible 2.
I didn't mind it.
Despite-
Number 1 was the best.
Despite the fact if you watch the motorbike chase, they change tyres every time they change environment.
Yeah.
And it was actually, God rest his soul, because it's his birthday on Sunday. It was my brother who pointed it out when we went and saw the movie. Because I went and saw it already, and I was just like, oh, that was cool. That was awesome. So I'm like, we got to go and see it. So we go to the cinema, and we get through it, and like it gets the end credits, and Limp Bizkit plays their version of the Mission Impossible theme, and then Metallica kicks in with I Disappear, and you're like, yeah, this was great. I look at him, I'm like, yeah, that was great. And he goes, what the fuck was that crap? Like, what was wrong with it? He goes, the entire bike chase, when they start off in the grass, he's got road tyres. When he's on the road, he's got slicks. And then when they're on the beach, he's got knobby dirt tyres.
Just stopping to change tyres, mate.
They don't do that in MotoGP.
Hey, they don't.
He just went, that was completely ridiculous.
It's hilarious.
And I went, only a MotoGP fan would have picked this shit out.
Well, yeah.
But it was a MotoGP fan. So.
But we'll say from... because wasn't some of the film, the footage from the Alpines, when the Alpines were dog shit? So all the film footage from the real F1 car that is from an Alpine is looking at the entire grid way the fuck up there.
Well, it's accurate.
It's accurate.
It's accurate.
It flips between it being an F2 kit car and it being the Alpine car from a few years ago. Ironically, it's the same speed no matter which one you're looking at.
It was made by Mercedes, though.
Was it just?
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Let's Stroll.
You sent me that.
Lance Stroll has achieved infinite levels of window lickage. This isn't breaking news, it's just what's come up on our feed. Lance Stroll is still a window licking spastic retard.
You know what really surprises me is that when he was in F3, he was a Ferrari Academy driver.
Was he really?
Fucking why?
Well... That's going on Snapchat. Well, they were smart enough to boot him before he became collateral damage.
That's when he was making his teammates collateral
Well,
damage.
no, he was at Williams too.
Yeah.
And he was okay. And he got... Did he get pole position at Turkey?
Yeah, in Istanbul.
Yeah.
But as Rocket Power Mohawk said, your mum could have gotten pole at Turkey.
I don't know. It was kind of impressive, to be fair. It was torrential rain. Like, you got one pole position. I mean, he dropped like a rock as soon as the lights went out, but...
Right, so an actual news item. We've got an actual news item here, right?
Bullshit.
Here we go. So, at Imola, everything seemed honky-dory between Lewis Hamilton and his engineer, Riccardo Adami.
Yes.
At Imola, not quite so honky, not quite so dory.
Is this at Monaco?
Yes.
Not Imola. You said Imola twice.
Oh, did I? Oh.
So in Imola they were cool.
Monaco,
they were not cool.
They went back to where they were. Because...
The shit.
So Hamilton asked Riccardo Adami, how far am I behind the car in front? And Riccardo Adami replied with, Charles Leclerc is fighting with the McLarens. Charles is up there with the McLarens. They're fighting. Max is ahead of you. And he said something about the car behind him or something. And Lewis rather irritatedly said, you haven't answered the damn question. How far am I behind the car in front? Am I a minute behind the car in front? And Adami replied with 48 seconds. So then he crossed the finish line, finished the race, and Adami's like, good result. There's some stuff we have to iron out over about the race. And Lewis Hamilton's like, it was a great recovery, and, we did really well. It wasn't the best result, but we did all right. This is for all the boys back at the factory, da-da-da-da-da. And he didn't hear anything from Adami. So then he got on the blower and said, "Are you upset with me or something?" And he still didn't get a reply. So, Fred Vasseur had to comment at the press conference after the race, and he said, "When the driver is asking something between turn 1 and 3, we have to wait until the tunnel to reply to avoid speaking with him during the corners. It's not that we are sleeping, it's not that we are having a beer on the pit wall, it's just because we have a section of the track where we agreed before to speak with him. Honestly, it's not a tension that Lewis Hamilton is asking something. He's between the wall, he's under pressure, he's fighting, he's at 300 kph between the walls, and I'm perfectly fine with it. I spoke with him after the race, he was not upset at all." Look, I want to get your take before I actually make a comment. What do you think about this situation? Other than, it's really good for McLaren.
We're going to fall over each other like this. It's brilliant for us. But, well, I think from the moment he said he was leaving Mercedes and Peter Bonington wasn't going with him, I think we knew it was going to be an adjustment. I just didn't think it was going to be this much of an adjustment. Because he's really struggling. I don't know if there's a language barrier or Lewis's systems at Mercedes was such a well-oiled machine that he didn't have to think. Now he's in a completely new environment with people that he's trying to adapt to and people that are trying to adapt to him. That voice that's been in his ear for the last decade isn't there anymore. I think they've both underestimated how much of a sea change it's become.
Well, Riccardo Adami was Sebastian Vettel's engineer and Carlos Sainz's engineer. Apparently, when they told Hamilton that he was getting Riccardo Adami as his engineer, Sebastian Vettel even apparently said to Hamilton, "Yeah, good luck with that."
Oh, Jesus.
So, I hate to say it, I think Adami is the problem.
Oh, absolutely.
He's not given Hamilton the information he's asking for.
Yes.
And when a driver is asking for information, you've got to wait until the point where you can talk to him without it being a distraction, which is fair. God knows when I'm playing the fucking game and I'm halfway through something and I have Jeff come in my ear and say, "Oh, your tyres are starting to go off." It's like, shut up, Jeff. I'm in the middle of a fucking corner, you plank of wood. And then you don't hear from Jeff for the rest of the race and you run out of petrol. But still, there's that. But then, tell him the info he wants to know.
Not only are they waiting, not only is the question being asked and they've got to wait 20 seconds to respond, he's waiting 20 seconds to respond and giving him the wrong information.
Yeah.
He's not answering the question.
Well,
You've waited 20 seconds for an answer to the question that you needed an answer to, and he hasn't answered the question.
It happened in qualifying where he gave Hamilton the wrong information, which led to Hamilton pulling out in front of Max Verstappen and hindering his lap, which gave him a 3-place penalty.
Yeah.
Then in the race, he's not answering giving him the information that he wants. Look at Miami. He had the medium tyre. Charles was on the hard tyre. They should have immediately said, swap, let Lewis go, because he's got the softer tyre. It's going to burn out faster. Hang with him. And then when the medium tyre starts to go off the boil, swap him back. And let Charles with the now properly ready to go hard tyre carry them along so they can keep Carlos Sainz behind them and maybe even challenge Albon. It took them, 3 to 5 laps to decide what the hell they were doing. I mean, do they not have calculators? They're just using a fucking abacus.
They pulled out Clippy from Microsoft Word.
I just don't think Adami is the right guy. Especially seeing his background is in design.
Well, he's added to the problem of Ferrari strategy department. That already isn't good.
And I mean, this guy has been around for nearly 10 years.
Yeah.
And we've had 10 years of really insanely crappy Ferrari, strategy calls.
It's just another roadblock.
I think he is the roadblock.
I mean, look, the Ferrari's not the Ferrari of last year.
No.
Like, it's gone backwards development-wise.
Yeah.
The strategy team's still the strategy team. And now you've got Lewis and an engineer that aren't clicking on the same page.
Yeah.
And we wonder why Lewis is struggling so much.
Yeah.
Like,
If the car might not be the greatest thing since sliced bread, but if you can get your strategy calls right, and if your engineer and your driver are clicking,
you can at least be in the fight.
yeah, and this is going to hurt to say this. Lewis Hamilton is a 7-time world champion. Why are you not listening to what he's got to say?
Yeah, pretty sure he knows what he's talking about.
Like, he's asking for information. Give him the information he needs so that he can do the job.
Yes.
Listen to what he's got to say and act on that. Don't sit there and go, well,
Don't give him the interpretation of the answer you think he wants.
Yeah.
Listen to the question. What did he say? What's he asking for? And you've got 20 seconds to formulate a response. It's not like any other track where the response needs to be instant.
Yeah.
What's the car behind doing? They're fighting up the front. You waited 20 seconds for him to tell you that the McLarens are fighting with Max.
With Charles.
With Charles.
Yeah.
I don't care. That's not what I asked for.
Yeah, I mean, their positions 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Max is in 4th. Lewis is in 5th. He wants to know about the car in front of him.
I want to know what Max is doing.
Not what the McLarens and Charles are doing 3 places ahead. He wants to know what is going on with Max, or if he's fighting the car behind him.
Is he far enough away as to where, is he a pit stop behind? But I think basically he was asking, is he a pit stop behind?
Yeah.
But it's just another.
Oh, look, I think Ferrari has got to replace Riccardo Adami. He's just not cutting the mustard.
It's just another roadblock in Lewis's struggles.
Yeah.
And the car's not great, the strategy's not great, and his engineer's not great.
Yeah.
And Lewis is, by proxy, not great this year.
And he's not happy because the engineer's not telling him what he wants to hear. The car isn't as competitive as you think. And he's in a new environment where he really doesn't have many familiar faces around him. He doesn't have Bono.
No.
Bono and Toto Wolff were his fucking safety blanket.
If Bono had gone with him, I think this would be a different story.
Absolutely. I think Ferrari need to throw some cash at Bono and get him
I
a
think
job.
Ferrari need to throw some,
Yeah.
They need to buy Bono out of his contract and get him over to Ferrari.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably why Hamo got Angela Cullen out of retirement to be his...
Yeah, they bought Ange back.
Yeah. Yeah, because...
Just so Hamilton had a familiar face there.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, Hamo... Adami kept pushing on to him like, oh, Charles Leclerc's using this setup on his car. And Hamo, because he was unfamiliar with it, was going with that. Particularly in Melbourne, he started off with using Charles Leclerc's setup, and it didn't work for him.
No.
So he ended up just going, okay, I'll use that for a baseline and then tweak it and make it my own.
Yep.
And that's when, I think it was China, where he won the sprint race. That's finally where he clicked, because he went, you know what, I'm going to set up the car the way I want.
And it worked.
And it worked.
Yep.
To a degree, yeah. Because he won the sprint race.
He did win the sprint race, but then he got his ass handed to him in the Grand Prix.
Yeah. But you know my point. Like, he proved that he is a 7-time world champion.
But he had to go out to bat on his own because, as we've been saying, the information he's been receiving isn't right.
Yeah. He's receiving...
He had to go out to bat on his own to get the performance out of the car that he wanted.
Yeah.
Because he's got teammates and engineers around him that he's not clicking with. You know, he had to pull one out of his ass.
I mean, he's getting along with Charles Leclerc, no problem.
Oh, I'm sure he's liking Ferrari, but there's a lot of aspects that he's not enjoying.
Yeah,
And it shows on the racetrack.
And, well, it shows with his engineer. He's just not clicking with the engineer.
And the results aren't coming. This is the worst year he's had in at least a decade.
I don't know. It was 2 years ago.
I mean,
Was a shocker.
2022, yeah, but this is worse. This is just... Because 2022, they found their way out. I don't know if Lewis is going to find his way out of...
I think they will, but he needs a new engineer.
Yeah, he'll need to... Something needs to be rectified.
Yeah, because
rather radically.
Because this Riccardo Adami is just sitting there playing with himself.
Yeah, seems to be.
And Fred Vasseur needs to sort this shit out.
Yeah.
Okay. I hear Flavio Brigatore's around, so just ask him. He'll do it. Right. So that's the news items. So we're going to go to the drivers' standings after the Monaco Grand Prix. Oh, have you seen this?
I have not.
Oh. In 10th place is Isaac Hadjar with 15 points.
Holy.
For the first time in a couple of years, there is no Lance Stroll in the top 10.
The eyebrows have sunk.
They've gone aquatic.
Thank Christ.
9th place is Esteban Ocon in 20 points. 8th place is Alex Albon in 42 points. 7th place is Kimi Antonelli with 48 points. 6th place was Lewis Hamilton with 63 points. 5th place was Charles Leclerc with 79 points. 4th place is George Russell with 99 points. 3rd place is Max Verstappen with 136 points. 2nd place is Lando Norris with 158 points. And 1st place is Oscar Piastri with 161 points. And in the Constructors, in the Constructors, 10th place, coming dead last, is Kick Sauber with 6 points. 9th place is Alpine with 7 points. 8th place, dropping down to 8th place, is Aston Martin with 14 points. 7th place is Racing Bulls with 22 points. 6th place is Haas with 26 points. 5th place, clear from everyone else. In 5th place is Williams with 54 points. I can hear.
That's so good.
I can hear Brody.
There's a lot of people out. Everyone liked that.
Yeah.
Everyone likes that.
4th place is Ferrari with 142 points. 3rd place is Red Bull Racing with 143 points. 2nd place is Mercedes with 147 points.
That's a decent scrap.
And in 1st place is McLaren with 319 points. That's a decent scrap for 1st place between McLaren and McLaren.
Between Oscar and Lando. I wonder when the earliest we can wrap up the Constructors is.
Oh, God.
Spa? Maybe?
Canada. Spain.
Yeah.
That's this weekend.
Next weekend. Yeah, Spain.
But, I mean, you got a bit of a scrap between Haas, Racing Bull, and Aston Martin. That's more Haas than Haas and Racing Bull.
That's a scrap. You got a scrap for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and you got a scrap for 6, 7, and 8. And a scrap for 9 and 10.
Yeah, scrap for dead last. Yeah, Aston Martin is still just floating like a... You know what? They're a nugget.
Yeah.
They are a nugget. They are the Owen Hart of this.
All 14 of those points came from Lance Stroll, by the way.
Yeah, who's finally dropped out of the top 10.
He's finally dropped out of the top 10.
But going back to the drivers, like it's pretty close between Albon and Antonelli, eh? 42 and 48.
I mean, Oscar and Lando are only separated by 3 points now.
Yeah.
And Max is still lurking in the background.
And Russell is only ahead of Charles by 20 points.
Yep.
And Charles is only ahead of Lewis by 16.
Yep.
So there is a tiff there.
Oh, yeah.
There is a tiff there.
Oh, yeah, there's going to be some scraps for championship positions
I'm
on the way.
going to make a really big call here. I'm going to make a really big call. I think Albon is going to do Antonelli.
I don't know. No, I don't think so. I think the Mercedes will click again.
I don't know.
They've had a couple of shocking races in
Oh,
a row.
particularly in Monaco. They weren't even in it.
No, I don't think they didn't qualify in the top 10, and
No.
they were just stuck in the sandwich.
Yeah.
They were stuck behind Alex Albon for a long time.
Yeah.
Change your fucking strategy. You change your fucking strategy, because I asked Carlos and he said it was shit.
Fucking hell.
I said that to my mates. I didn't get the reference until I said it to them. And I'm like, oh, God. It's like it's just a hell of a...
Well, okay, well,
It's a hell of a reference.
here we go.
If you don't know what we're talking about.
So here's my...
You change your car because Checo has been saying the car is fucked. There's everything going on. Speak to my drivers.
You changed the strategy, because Carlos has been saying the strategy's fucked. I got a good chuckle out of that.
So here's my big question. Who do you think's going to be world champion at the end of the year?
I don't know.
McLaren.
McLaren's going
There
to
we
be
go.
constructors.
That one's solved.
I'd love to say Oscar, but
I think Oscar's going to do it.
he's got to bounce back, though. He's got to stop letting Lando get the results on him.
I think everyone's sitting there saying, oh, now Oscar's out of form. It's 2 fucking races.
Yeah.
It's 2 fucking
You don't want
races.
Lando to get a whole bunch of momentum here. But Oscar can do it.
The dark horse in this is Max.
Oh, Max can still do it.
Max can still do it.
Especially if it gets to the point yet. We haven't seen the collision yet. But damn if you think we wouldn't see it.
Add to that, the Ferrari apparently has upgrades coming this weekend.
Exactly.
So that could improve the car quite a lot.
There's going to be a tipping point to this championship. And it's probably going to involve Lando and Oscar crashing into each other.
Well, it's certainly going to make Drive to Survive interesting. But
yeah.
So here's my question number 2. It's got to do with the constructors.
McLaren.
I think that's a foregone conclusion here.
It's a formality at this point.
Who do you think's going to get second place, though? Is it going to be Ferrari, Red Bull, or Mercedes?
I reckon Ferrari could do enough. Because it's still Max fighting one-handed. It's Max fighting one-handed against both Mercedes and both Ferraris. The Mercedes are like ebbing and flowing. It's going to come down to whoever sorts their shit out first between Mercedes and Ferrari.
If you could describe it like a heartbeat, so the Red Bull, honestly, this is going to sound horrible, but for the sake of this, the Red Bull is flatlined.
Well,
The reason why I'm saying that is because you've got Max Verstappen getting results and the other driver isn't.
yes, we've had this for the last 2 years.
So it's a flat line, right? It's a flat line. Mercedes is kind of a heartbeat, just a regular heartbeat, whereas Ferrari is having the most amount of spikes. Like it's going
Spikes and valleys.
Ferrari is having a fucking coronary incident.
Mercedes had some great results followed by some shit results.
Yeah.
Ferrari's been really good or really bad. And Red Bull's been... Well, Max has been pulling it out of his ass.
Yeah. So it's...
It just depends on who settles down first. It won't be Red Bull. Oh, it will not be Red Bull in second. It will be Mercedes or Ferrari. And it will come down to whoever gets consistency back first.
I think this proves the point of...
And I actually think at this stage it's probably going to be Mercedes that gets that consistency first. Because when Mercedes was consistent, they were still getting better results than Ferrari.
Well, I mean, Mercedes, what are they got to do to get that consistency?
I don't know if it's track related, but they've just got to... maybe it is track related. Maybe they just had a couple of races in a row that didn't suit their car.
Look, for me...
Because Kimi can drive. George can drive. George Russell's popping up on the podium by doing literally nothing.
Yeah.
The amount of races where George has done fuck all and finished second or third And Kimmy can drive. We know Kimmy can drive. It's going to come down to the car just finding some Mercedes-specific tracks and getting the most out of it.
I think the Mercedes thing is the car isn't really where it needs to be. I mean, that's stating the obvious. Kimi is inexperienced. I think the thing that might hurt them the most is George Russell. I don't think George Russell is a team leader.
Yeah, he's not
He's
not an alpha male. I mean, look how he acts.
George Russell is never going to be world champion.
Nah, he doesn't have a killer mentality.
No, he doesn't have the killer instinct. He's got the whinging aspect.
He's a fucking beta.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah, master.
He fucking talks shit about Max Verstappen and then walks past Max Verstappen and he's buddy with him.
Yeah.
I don't like how Max does this and does that, and then they fucking walk past each other in the paddock and George fucking keeps his head down.
Yeah.
He's a fucking beta.
And Max fucking rips into him.
He's a fucking beta. Once Kimi gets a bit maturity about him, he can take the lead role in that team.
Yeah, and George Russell will just be...
He's just a fucking beta. He's a cock. Sits in the fucking corner and watches.
So, that's the thing with the Mercedes. For me, the Red Bull... The thing with the Red Bull is...
Red Bull's still a good car. Like, the Red Bull's a decent car, and Max is still the best driver on the grid.
Yeah, they've just got to get a second driver who can get in there.
They've got to try and get Yuki to point the thing in the right direction.
But I think that's the problem is they've made an entire car to suit Max, and they don't have another Max.
Yeah,
if you don't have
they're
another Max,
they're trying to find another Max, and they're not finding another Max.
No, they're going to stop trying to find another Max, and just change their fucking car.
Makes you wonder if they'd taken the chance on Daniel Ricciardo. Because Daniel Ricciardo was probably the only one with the closest driving style to Max.
Yep.
He could have probably done it.
What if at the end of the day, Yuki keeps misfiring? Like, I know he's getting a couple of points here and there.
He's not going back to Red Bull. Danny's not going back to Red Bull. He will go to Cadillac maybe. But if they missed it, Red Bull had their chance.
Yeah.
To bring him back from RB, and they didn't.
And whose fault is that?
Helmut Marko?
Helmut Marko. Thank you. Helmut Marko and Flavio Brigatore, they should have their own team and just fuck everything up.
Oh my god, yeah, they have 200 juniors and they're all fucking shit except one.
Yeah.
And then everyone else, and everyone in the second car gets cut after, like, during the race. Every time they come in for a pit stop, they put a new junior in the car. just to see. It's like Le Mans driver changes.
Just, wheek.
Like, you're out.
Yoink.
Yoink. It's like elimination. If you're not within a certain delta, you get yoinked at the pit stop.
You get eliminated from Q2.
Yeah. All right, Red Bull missed their chance to have a second Max on the grid. His name was Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah. And they flubbed it. They flubbed it. Ferrari. So...
Well, we've already gone through Lewis's issues.
Look, I think the Ferrari is capable of being the team that finishes second in the Constructors. Once they get the updates on the car to make it work a bit better, and once they get Lewis firing on all cylinders...
It's showing glimpses of what it can do. I mean, Lewis dominated the sprint race in Shanghai.
Yeah.
And, you know, he had a couple of other pretty half-decent results, you know. Charles got second in Monaco. You know, it has shown glimpses of potential, but not consistently enough.
Well, they reckon the problem with the car is that it can't do slow speed corners.
Well, that's not good for Monaco, even though Charles seemed to have proved that wrong.
Yeah, but...
Says me, who said Monaco wasn't a McLaren track. Lando Norris goes out and breaks the lap record.
Yeah, but the last 3 laps, Charles Leclerc was all over the back end of Lando Norris, too.
Yeah, but the beauty of Monaco is no one can
get
pass.
overtake. The
beauty of Monaco is Daniel Ricciardo won it with an engine that was dying.
Pretty much.
You name me any racetrack in the world where a car with a dying engine can hold the lead.
Didn't Senna... No, that was Brazil. Senna
that was
won
his gearbox.
Yeah, that was his gearbox.
He had to keep it in 6th, and the power steering was going, and yeah. That was Herculean.
There was another track where Schumacher in his Ferrari, he lost, I think, 5th gear. No, he lost fourth gear, so he had to jump from, and it was the flappy paddle gearbox, so he had to sort of skip 4 to get to 5th, and then he skip 4 to go down to 3rd to
Wow.
take corners. He still managed to win the fucking race.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible, but at Monaco, it's super possible.
Oh, yeah.
If I get my Hyundai i30 out the front of that race, I've got a half-decent chance of holding them off.
You got a 33 to 3% chance of winning. Except if you take my 25% chance, if we was to go 1-on-1, from your 33 to 3% chance, you end up with, fucking whatever, 8.3% chance, whatever the fuck it is.
Correct.
Steiner math. But I think Ferrari, if they can get a new engineer that can speak Lewis's language, aka English, and answer the goddamn questions, and if they can just get some upgrades on that car that work,
Yeah.
they're going to be in there,
It'll be whoever clicks first between Ferrari and Mercedes.
you know, and then
Red Bull will fall to 4th. McLaren's going to walk away with the championship.
yeah, we know Williams is going to finish 5th. Like
Williams should finish 5th. We'll see what happens between Haas and the Racing Bulls and Aston Martin. We'll see the absolute blockbuster between Kick Sauber and Alpine for the spoons.
I fucking hope Sauber beat them.
I hope Sauber beat Alpine. I hope Alpine finishes dead fucking last.
Yeah, the thing is, it's pick who you hate more.
I hate Flavio. No one likes
Yeah,
Flavio.
you hate Flavio, but who's the CEO at Kick Sauber?
Seidel. No,
No.
who's there? Bonotto.
Matteo Bonotto.
I don't hate Bonotto.
I do.
I don't hate Bonotto and I don't hate Seidel. Well, Seidel's
That
gone.
Italian fucking Harry Potter motherfucker. No, he can fuck right off.
I hate Flavio more than Bonotto.
There we go. There's a super team.
Sauber, I mean, Sauber will be fine because they're Audi next year, so they get all the German technology anyway.
Yeah, but they still got Matteo Bonotto.
Look,
But Jonathan Wheatley is the team principal, though.
oh, yeah, that's good.
Going.
That's a good get.
But imagine that, a team with Flavio Briatore, Helmut Marko, and fucking Matteo Bonotto. Just
I'd rather kill myself. I'd rather just not drive for them, actually. I'd just be like,
just crash the car.
drive your own cars. Get in there. Show me what you got. It'll be like that video that keeps coming up of Mohammed Ben Sulayem driving the fucking before it was Force India and just planting it into the wall in a drag race. And it's like, yeah, that's the dickhead that runs the FIA. Talentless hack. Yeah. There you go.
Right.
Speaking of hated people, Mohammed Ben Sulayem, Flavio Briatore, Helmut Marko, Matteo Bonotto. We can run a list. We can run a list.
It's the teaching pool at Hogwarts. We've covered every person that we drink haterade over
Yeah.
in this entire episode. Right. So
That's us. We've got a game to watch.
yes. So we've got the socials. Fuck, I forgot about the game. State of Origin. Socials. So YouTube, F1 Chat, care of Vindicator 18 channel. Also, the F1 Chat -1, don't forget the 1. Facebook, the F1 Chat. X, the F1 Chat 1, don't forget the 1 again. Rumble, the F1 Chat. Spotify, the F1 Chat. Next race is Spain, which is this weekend.
Yeah. I'm still home, so we can do the podcast on Monday.
Yippee!
Oh, yeah.
Right, and go the Maroons.
Yeah, go Queensland.
Hey, who won the Indianapolis 500?
Alex Palou.
Good job,
Dude's
Alex.
having
Palou.
a hell of a fucking year. He's got McLaughlin crashed in the formation lap.
As
Pato
you-
Ward finished 4th, but Marcus Ericsson got disqualified for a technical irregularity, so he finishes 3rd.
Nice. Penske had to fire some of their staff.
Yeah, because they got caught cheating and qualifying for the Indy
How do
500.
you get cheating when you own the fucking sport?
They got a technical irregularity on the back of the car.
But they
That's
own.
why all the Penske cars have to start from the back.
But Penske owns IndyCar.
Yeah, well, they broke their own rules. They're the Manchester City. They broke all the allegations.
Speaking of which, fucking Tottenham won the Europe Cup.
Yeah, they won the Europa League.
Yep, beating Man United.
That's brilliant. Liverpool won the Premier League.
Won me a free fucking sausage roll. I am happy about that.
That's brilliant. Liverpool won me clout, which they do pretty frequently, so I can't be too upset.
And, yeah, that is about it.
That's the update.
That is the update.
That's the update.
So, on behalf of myself, JB, Lord British, thank you for tuning in.
Longhorn,
We will see you next week
wherever you are in the world of
in the ether.
truck driving.
Yes. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you next week. Until then, it is goodbye.